fairy rose. And I'm probably going to bring in this pretty plant, the low big leaf growing one, for the winter. Bring it onto the porch. This pot wintered over. Honeysuckle bush was in full bloom for months and the hummingbirds loved it, but it's resting now and we'll get a few more. And at the foot of it there's a gold fuchsia that's very hardy. These two lettuce pots on the porch were very successful. They're self-watering. Bob made them for me a couple years ago. But the lettuce is just about getting done because it's been much warmer this year than last year. This is a geranium I wintered over. This is a smoke bush, which I'm going to put out front in the fall. And there I am, the reflection on the sunroom. That's a pretty geranium. It's pretty, the leaf, it gets a nondescript flower. In the back corner we have YM with a few cabooses and an old metal truck, which is really, really old. It is so old it is rusted over. North Philly Station, LaSalle. The New York Times trucks delivering the newspapers. Reading Lines, North Broad Street Station. Again, some people waiting for the train. And there's a man selling fruit. There's the Bauer and Kaufman building. Joe's service station with a really old PRR truck and some oil trucks, gasoline truck. RCA next to Campbell's Soup. And Gimbels and Litz and Wanamaker's and Snellenberger's, the old stores from Philadelphia. Bob expanded the terminal this year, just recently finished, made it twice as long. Across the way are nasturtiums. Sweet peas. Sometimes I put the nasturtium leaves and flowers into our salad. They have a very peppery taste. This part is always shaded, so the ferns do really well here. And this hydrangea that Susan and I moved, because it was out front and the deer were eating it, it's doing really, really well. This is a lace cap hydrangea. And it starts out with just little buds in the middle, and then the flowers get big and cover it all up. A couple heucheras or coral bells, and a fern, and some pansies I started from seed. This is the north path, and it's pretty shady. Our ivy is finally starting to grow, and it will cover the fence eventually. It's been in a couple years. This is all under the terminal. Pennsylvania engine with the blue comet in the background. That's the dining car. You can see the lamps on each individual table. And here's the M410, a majestic bud car. That's a neat caboose, 42104. This is looking down the terminal. As you can see, it is quite long, and there are lights to illuminate at nighttime. They go on automatically. This is some ivy I got from my mother and brought with us. This plant is very pretty, the color of the leaves, and then now late summer it gets these hanging flowers which will turn into like little, oh, here's some. Almost like little grapes, and they are edible, although they're very small. So that's chartreuse in purple, planted right next to the 9-bark summer wine, which is a dark purple. It's done blooming. It blooms pink. And then growing up through it, I planted a geranium, which does travel. At the foot of the 9-bark is a Hakanakloa Japanese grass, which has really grown over the, I don't know how many years it's been in. Some daisies, another fuchsia, coneflower, sea holly, and the rose, white meadowland, which a couple weeks ago was totally covered with clumps of white flowers, and it keeps on blooming all year until frost. Bee balm, which the bees go crazy for. Liatris,